Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes weekly webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today from our friends at Hunkydory Crafts, I have two 6x6 2D embossing folders. This one's pretty plaid, and this one is water ripples, and they make cards like this one. If you can see this great textured plaid on the side. This is our giveaway card for this episode, so if you stick around, you'll learn how one lucky viewer could win this card to keep or share with a friend. So come play with us. All right, this is what they look like if you emboss them. This is 110-pound cardstock, and you can see the nice deep ripples on this one, nice texture on it as well. And then you could also turn it over. This is the embossed side where the impression is going up. You could also use the debossed side where the impression is going down, okay? And then same on this great plaid, got a great texture on this side, and on the other side is the debossed side. All right, now how these work, of course, you need an embossing or die cutting machine to use these. You would just take your cardstock, in this case it's a 100-pound weight cardstock. This is available at paperwishes.com. It's listed down below the video. You would just pop it right in here. I like to use a little mister with just a little bit of clear water in it. You hold it back 8 to 10 inches, and you're just misting it a little bit, not getting it wet. You're not even really getting it damp. You just want a tiny bit of moisture there. You're closing that, and then you're going to turn this so that the hinges, if you will, are on the side that's going to go into the die cutting machine first. Because this is 6 inches wide, it'll work on a Big Shot or a Gemini Junior, anything that's a 6-inch wide platform. It fits in there just right. The reason you're putting those hinges in first is so that they don't cause a buckle. If you put it in this way, which is the open side, and you put it through there, sometimes a little slack can happen on these things and it would pop this open at the end. So make sure you're always putting it in folded side first. Okay. So let's take a look at some of the cards and some of the things you can do with this. So this is our giveaway card I mentioned in the video, and for this one I'll tell you about the card, and then I'm going to tell you about the giveaway at the end of the video, so stick around for that. So I used, for this particular card, I made my card base out of 6x6 piece of 6x12 piece of solid cardstock, this green cardstock that is the solid cards from the solid cardstock from Patchwork Roses, okay? And then once I had that done, I scored it so it made a 6x6 card blank, and then I used Patchwork Roses 12x12 pattern cardstock in this beautiful pink, okay? Well, actually no, I used this one right here. And I just trimmed the border off of it, okay, to measure. Let me give you guys the measurement on that. This is about 3 3/8. It's almost 3 1/2, but 3 3/8 wide, and then 5. Let's see, 5 and almost 5 3/4 inch tall. So before I glued this to just this sort of half piece of the coordinating like pink cardstock, I used the same height, okay, so it would be 5 3/4, but I probably went over about 3 inches on that, so it kind of tucked under here. You don't need to do the whole piece. Ran it through that plaid embossing folder, and then you guys, I used the metallic wax in gold, which is so nice to work with, and I'm using our little daubers. Now these daubers you can get in 2 sizes now. We have this size, which I think has 12 pieces in it, or you can get this one, which has 34 pieces in it. I'm going to list both of these down below the video in our supplies from paperwishes.com. If you're watching us on paperwishes.com in our webisode page, you can look down below the video and see all the supplies are listed there. If you're watching us on YouTube, just look below the video in the description box and you'll see a link that'll take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page. All right, so I'm just taking my little dauber and just putting the wax in there. You can also use your finger to do this. I find I have a little bit more control of the amount I'm putting on if I'm using this. And then I'm just gonna go over this pretty thick. Okay, and it's just really going to make this show really, really nicely. So I'd already done that once, so I have a really nice darker look. And then around the entire card, I did ink the edges with cocoa bean ink and then my little applicator tool. And then I did the same thing on the inside with this piece right here. Just went really heavy on those stripes going down this way and then going across this way, just to really play up that gold on there. And then you guys added on this side a white fancy border dazzle sticker, and these just peel off so nicely. They're great little lacy borders, okay, without having to use fabric or glue, and just adhere that. And then Thinking of You dazzle stickers right here come in this We're Together pack of white, brown, silver, and gold, and you're getting 2 sheets of each, and they have separate sentiments on the ones that go like this, they're more like a horizontal greeting, and then there's another coordinating sheet, if I can find it, between these 2 silver ones that is gold, and they're a little bit more stacked one on top of the other, so they worked really great for small spaces that the horizontal ones are just a little too large for. So just place Thinking of You there, a little gingham ribbon, and then when we open this up, cut this one. I like to cut my paper first and then emboss it. So this is a 5-inch square. And then same over here, out of the green paper that's right here, 5-inch square. Inked both of those with the cocoa bean ink. Then I went back over them with the gold wax. And then I used the cutting die and the solid cardstock and made this layered rose right there. It's the coordinating cutting dies, and added that and just glued and foam taped that there. Added the little My Friend to the center. All right, so this is our giveaway card, so stick around to the end of the video and you're gonna learn how we're gonna give this one away. I'm gonna put it someplace I don't forget. Okay, this next one also uses the plaid, all right? But this one, I went ahead and I embossed the patterned paper on this card. So this is a 5x7 tent fold card, okay, just with a fold is at the top. And I used a Novel Idea 12x12 pattern cardstock. I just took scraps of this sort of burgundy tapestry paper and I put it along the bottom and the top, just little 1/2-inch strips. And then I took this all over sort of tan with green vine paper. I cut this one to 5 inches wide and then 6 inches tall and put that through the plaid embossing folder. And then when it came out of the folder, I just went over that embossed pattern with the cocoa bean. You can see that right there, and it gives it such a nice texture. And then glued that to the card center. Just to cover the seams at the top and the bottom, I used the brown version of the fancy border dazzle sticker, and once again using my favorite scallop, just right over that paper seam. And then these pieces right here are cutouts from the cutout sheet in the Novel Idea paper pack. Went ahead and cut out this cute little kitten, glued him down first, foam taped the happy birthday using our giant wheel of foam tape, 150 feet or 50 yards of 1/2-inch wide continuous foam tape. Debbie and I love this. We can't live without that one. And then added just a little crepe ribbon in burgundy to kind of coordinate right here with the background paper. And then just glued that with like a Zot adhesive dot right there. And then, yeah, good to go. All right, the next one, let's switch over to this embossing folder, which is the Water Ripples. All right, something completely different on this one. We have a 5x6.5-inch card. So for this one, I used 2 different sheets of hammered gold paper. I used silver hammered gold and gold. And this is a close-up look of what it looks like when you put this through the embossing machine with your folder. And it's really cool. That's the black side right there. And then this metallic hammered gold. And what I did was I did the silver and I covered 4¼ inches from the bottom. And then the remainder of the card, which was 2¼ inches, was the gold. And then for the paper, I use Steampunk for Everyone, 12 by 12 pattern cardstock. And I use this one that has just some great bugs. Okay, so yes, it's a bug, it's a butterfly, but they are bugs. So you've got a sort of a grasshopper here and either a moth or a butterfly. Works great for your guy. So I also use the coordinating embossing folder for this, cutting die for this. And I use the For My Guy with a little bit of gold cardstock and die cut that and then glued that right there. Now as far as glue goes, we love our Cosmic Shimmer glue, specialist acrylic glue, and the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. Both are acrylic, both dry clear, both don't get all crunchy and crispy, they stay flexible. Excellent glue. And then Debbie and I like putting them in these small applicator tools, and then which makes particularly adding something like this with the fine lines, using this behind that to attach works great. Okay, and then at the top and bottom corners I use the black corner dazzle stickers, and for that one I have got just there's several different shapes of corner dazzles here, and I put them here and here. Okay, great one, great masculine card for this one. All right, moving on to our next one, which is going to be kind of messy. All right, for the next card, we're going to be using the Water Ripples embossing folder along with the Circle stand-up card cutting dies. So we're going to have to sort of build our background on this one, and then we're going to emboss it, or then we're going to die cut it, and then we're going to emboss it. So I'm going to take you down a little road here. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is create a background. And I'm going to take a blank card, okay? This is a 6.5 by 5 inch card. And I'm going to need my craft mat because we're going to get messy, which makes it all the more fun. All right, and then we're going to take some of these fantastic Nuvo shimmer powders. And I have 3 colors. I have Atlantis Burst, Blue Blitz, and Solar Flare, which is yellow, okay? And we're gonna build a background. I also have a little misting tool, and I have a heat gun, although the heat gun is not necessary. It is for my purposes because I need to move things along. So we're going to just start by taking our card and just misting that a little bit so the powder sticks and doesn't go flying all over the room. And then we're just going to sprinkle, 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 sprinkle like this with one of the colors. Okay, and then I'm going to do, you can also, I'm going to give you an alternative here. You can just sprinkle directly to the card, but you can also sprinkle on a craft mat like this. Okay, I'm going to hold back on the yellow one. So you can go like that, and then you can mist your card, see what it's doing, and then you can, or you can sort of activate your color on your mat, and then you can sort of go like this. Okay, so you can do both of those, one of those, sort of just whichever application you like to do. Okay, and then we're going to add a little bit more color, but I need some here they are, some whites. Normally I wouldn't waste all this color. I would like take some tags and things and drag it through that color so I could use it using more cards, but we're in a hurry, so we're gonna go like this. All right, so once you've kind of got your basic color down, now we're just gonna build up a little bit more. We're gonna make it a little chunky, and whoop, tap, 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 tap. All right, and now we're going to do the same with a little bit of yellow or solar flare. Okay. And then we're going to mist, 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 mist. Now, you can see here, if we can zoom in, I'm leaving that powder a little chunky on here. And I'm not getting the whole thing completely wet. I want it to be a little bit chunky. And then I'm going to take my, you can use a hair dryer, you can let it air dry. And I'm just moving this around a little bit and drying that all up. Okay, so I'm not going to finish that because it takes a minute, but that's the steps to what I'm showing you. Now I'm going to take this away. All right, and I'm going to bring in another one that's dry. This one looks very different because I can't seem to replicate the same thing twice, but same colors, just applying them in different areas, okay? And it's nice and dry. So now I'm going to take one of these cutting dies for the base, this one right here, and all of the instructions for how to die cut from a card are right here. So I'm just following those instructions. I'm going to take this part right up here does not have a cutting die edge like the rest of them do, right here and right here. So you're going to place that on the edge of the card, okay? And then you're going to run this through your die cutting machine and you're going to get a shape, right? And it's going to look like that, this shape. And then we're going to take this shape and we're going to put this, we're going to open it up, we're going to put it like that in our embossing folder and we're going to shut that. And then we're going to turn it. Remember, this folded side goes in first. We're going to go this far with it and then back out again. So now you've embossed it, but you've only embossed the card front, okay? And by the way, you can do that with any 6-inch wide card or less. So if it's 6.5 inches, it won't work because it won't fit through your machine. But if it's 6 inches, you can do that. You can do half the card. All right, so then I just took the extra scrap that I had down here and I embossed it again, and I glued it, embossed it and glued it to the back of the card. All right, so now we're ready to finish our card, but we have this great background that we've made with color, and I think that it really appeals to the name of that water ripple. Okay, so that's the theme of this one. See, so the next thing we're going to do is there's a little piece like this that goes to the card back, and it keeps it from, when you set your card out, it keeps it from splaying open like that. So we're going to take that, we're going to glue that on. I can hope I can find it. Did I lose it? Oh dear. I had it when I started. You guys would not believe how much stuff is all over. Okay. Oh, I found it. It was way across the table. All right, so for this one, we're gonna fold it like this, and then like this. And then you can either use glue or you can use tape on this. I'm just gonna use some glue. There. All right, and then these little flaps are going to get placed right here on the center. You want kind of equal space on each side. And then you're just going to close that. Let that glue adhere. And when you open it, like that. Okay, so now we're ready to do the top part of the card, which is right here. And that means we have to take this shape and cut 2 of something. So I cut 2 like this, and I used Imperial Blue mirror cardstock. Okay, it's beautiful and very shiny. I cut 2 of those, and then we're going to take this shape and cut 1, and it could be of solid paper, it could be of acrylic, it could be of what's the shiny clear stuff? Acetate. It could be of acetate, it could be of vellum. I kept thinking of vellum because that's what I used. I used this dot vellum, went ahead and die cut that, and then you guys, I glued that dot vellum to the back of one of these circles. All right? Then I also added a greeting to that, which I normally wouldn't do until I was all done with the card, but I used 96 Happy Birthday Dazzle stickers in this huge collection because I didn't want to take extra time to place that. So we're going to go ahead. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to initially glue the top part of this together with a little glue. There we go. All right, and then you can put glue on the inside part of each one of these, but I find that to be a little tricky. So I'm just going to take the glue here. Oh, I have a clog in my glue. Fortunately, I have a little stainless steel pin. We sell these at Paper Wishes too. You can sort of unclog your situation. There we go. And then you're just going to kind of splay the bottom part opened like this. And then you're going to, almost like a little sandwich, and then the card part is the sandwich. Go just like that. And then that's all done. And then look at from the back. Looks all nice on the back. And then you can write a little greeting right back here. And then I've got a cute little bow, you guys, that we could put up here. I think we're gonna put it right here. Normally I would use like an adhesive dot on this, but I forgot to grab them. So I'm just gonna add a little glue right there. Okay. So isn't that fun with this embossing folder and all the bright colors and then the vellum so that the light can come through it? So much fun to play with, you guys. All right, so I think I'm all creative out on that one. All right, so you guys, we have a fantastic money saver on this collection. These two embossing folders are so fun to play with. I think you'll agree, like really versatile and really fun to play with. And so if you were watching us on our Paper Wishes webisode page at paperwishes.com, the money saver is right there on the right-hand side of your screen. If you look down below the video, you'll see full color photos of all of these projects. And if you click on them, you'll get detailed supply lists for each card. And below that, photos are just a mass of all the supplies that we use together. If you're watching us over on YouTube, just look below the video in the description box and you'll see a link that'll take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page. How we do our card giveaway. So we ask that you, if you're watching us on Paper Wishes webisode page, you hop on over to YouTube, and our YouTube channel is called My Paper Wishes. So that's where we run our giveaway contest. And then you just need to give this video, well, first you need to subscribe to our channel, then give this video a thumbs up, like it, and then leave us a comment. And then after about a week, we'll reply, congratulations, YouTube username blank, to one of the comments, and give them instructions on how to email us and claim their card. So you do have to know your YouTube username, and if you can't remember what that is, then just go back and read your comment, and that'll definitely label that. And then it's a good idea to hit that notification bell at the top right hand corner. That way you remember when we have a new video. It'll remind you with a little ringing bell. Thanks so much for joining me today, you guys. This was a fun collection to work with. Fantastic embossing folders. Don't forget the money savers right there, and we'll see you in the next one.